Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie and I love indie makeup, especially shiny, shifty, and sparkly eyeshadows. And today I'm going to be doing the Content Creator Confessions tag, which is created by Kate the Great and Better Off Red. I will link their channels and their videos down in the description box. And I just thought some of these questions were really good. There are 17 questions, so there's a lot to get through. I was actually going to do this as a chatty get ready with me, but I feel like that would just be way too long. So I'm just going to try to go through these pretty quickly. It's been really interesting hearing people's answers to these questions, and I don't have any eye makeup on right now because I'm waiting for a PR package from Glaminatrix to get delivered. It says today. I've been waiting, I'm holding out, I'm trying to wait. So let's get right into the questions. Question number one is, how do you feel about the term influencer, and do you feel you are one? So I actually really don't like the word influencer. I think that it has a negative connotation to like 90% of people, and I feel like it's just something that has happened over the course of the year. And I think most people think an influencer is someone that is influencing you specifically to spend money, which is not the case. I don't know, that was never really like the definition of influencer. I think people just kind of put the two and two together, and now it just seems to be the kind of underlying main meaning of influencer. I like to say that I am a content creator for so many different reasons, really. Not only am I creating content, and that's creative, I have a very creative background since I was a child. I always loved to draw and paint, and currently I am a full-time graphic designer. I went to art school, so that's really why I prefer those terms. Also because I see this as a creative outlet for me. So while I do have a creative job as my full-time job, this is like something different. I'm not sitting in front of a computer, I'm putting on makeup. It's like a whole different kind of art medium to me, and I do view makeup as art, especially like for my Instagram reels. I really try to make those really artistic. Like those are just like kind of let my creative juices flow, and then YouTube is a little bit more like, let's talk about if this is worth it. But my goal when I started my channel was never to make people spend money. From the beginning, I just wanted to share my creativity. I wanted to do lots of looks. I wanted to give people inspiration on the kind of looks that they could create. And so this leads into the second question, which is, how did you decide to become a content creator? So actually in like maybe 2014, 2015, I tried filming a hair extension review. I was using my webcam on my laptop, and I was sitting on my parents' bed. For some reason, the lighting was better in that room, and I tried to film it, and it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to. It was a time where I was like obsessed with hair extensions. I was watching reviews constantly. I tried like a couple of different brands, and I just felt like I wanted to share my thoughts on some of these brands, but that video never made it anywhere. I immediately deleted that. I just kind of put everything off to the side. And then at the end of 2017, I decided I wanted to start a channel just because I really wanted to do creative looks and I wanted to film them. My number one inspiration to start a YouTube channel was actually Picturesque. I just absolutely love her videos. They're super artistic, they're really close up, and they're very technique based. And it didn't even matter what product she was using. She was using old products and new products, just mixing it all together. And it just felt like you were watching like some sort of like commercial that was like professionally filmed and edited and everything, and it just would blow my mind every time. And that is kind of what I try to aspire to be, which is why most of my first few videos on YouTube have only music over them. Obviously they're not even anywhere remotely close to what Regina's videos were, but I really just love the idea of just getting creative eyeshadow. And something that was also very important to me was to be close up, so you could really see what I'm doing, how I'm applying the eyeshadow, so you could just see every little step of the way, just nice and close up. And that is something I still do to this day because I still think it's so important. I'm definitely a very visual person, and I love tutorials that are super close up because I just want to get up in there. And if I watch tutorials that are a little further away, like this far away, I always just want to zoom in because I love seeing things done up close. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but just to ramble on a little bit longer, I do quite a bit of reviews on my channel, but it's never to make people buy anything. It's really like, my purpose is always to show you if this is worth your money and if you really feel like this will add to your collection, and only to spend money on it. Like, of course, I have a ton of multi-chrome eyeshadows. That doesn't mean that you should have this many multi-chrome eyeshadows. I also have this many because at some point I ended up getting duplicates, and I started to realize it, and I was getting a little bit annoyed with myself that I was spending money on like the same types of eyeshadow. So I ended up starting to do some swatch comparisons so that I would help other people not buy multiples, because you really want to, especially with multi-chrome eyeshadows, you really want to make sure you spend your money wisely. And so it's just become this thing now where I just have a ton of multi-chromes for swatch comparisons, and I'm okay with that because now I help you make better buying decisions when it comes to indie makeup. eyeshadow palettes, single eyeshadows, etc., etc. So let's finally move on to the third question. What is your experience with knowing other creators in life, good or bad? I have never met anyone from YouTube. I did meet my dear creator and IG wifey, Kate, aka Beauty Bean. We met 2019. We met up for a lunch. We had been friends for at least a couple years at that point, just obviously virtual friends. But either way, it was an amazing experience. I had zero doubts that it was going to be awkward or anything. Like, sometimes you just know when you click with someone, and me and her, like, we really just click, and so it just felt like we had been friends forever. Like, it didn't feel like this was our first time actually seeing each other in person. It was so much fun. I do really hope that we get to meet up in the future as well and just spend a little bit more time with each other, because that was just kind of like a quick kind of lunch. We just happened to be in the area where she lives, and there's definitely YouTubers that I talk to on pretty much a daily basis that I feel like would be amazing to me, but I would also love to meet some of my Instagram friends as well that do not have YouTube channels. Question number 4 is, do you accept sponsorships and how do you feel about them? So I've only had one sponsorship so far. It was from Ana Luisa. It was quite a few months ago, and I feel like in general I don't mind sponsorships at all. Of course, I don't like it when it's not disclosed when it's a sponsorship or an ad or whatever, what have you, especially like I know it happens a lot on TikTok, but I personally don't really like, I don't get like super angry about it. I think for the most part, I've already for years always taken everything with a grain of salt, no matter how much I might trust the YouTuber, TikToker, just creator in general. But especially when I know it's a sponsorship, I will take it even bigger spoonful of salt, if you will. But I have absolutely no problems with sponsorships. I do feel like sometimes the sponsorship feels a little bit maybe out of line with the person's content. So sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, well, whatever, it just doesn't apply to me. But I really do love seeing other creators getting sponsorships, because it means they're getting paid. Hopefully they're getting exactly what they ask for, and I love that. Because as a content creator myself, I know that a lot of work goes into creating YouTube videos, Instagram, etc., etc. If it was super easy to do, then we would have millions and millions of people that are really successful at being content creators. Just saying. This one is juicy one. Have you had an experience with a brand that left a bad taste in your mouth? I have had so many. I've had a lot of experiences also just through hearing other content creators tell me or show me like emails or share it to their stories. Like, I definitely side-eye a lot of brands. Really any brand that is in my inbox that is offering to send me a $20 mascara in exchange for content is really something that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I honestly don't even respond to those emails because it just gets way too tiring. And this is really smaller brands, mid-tier brands, larger brands, they all do it. Just because it's a larger brand and you think they might have money, oh no, they don't want to pay. They will know to pay larger creators. Like, I'm talking like people with like millions of followers. They'll know that they have to. But smaller creators get taken advantage of a lot. I do want to mention one brand by name because I did mention this on my IG stories. If you follow me on there, you've seen I've just been calling brands out really that are in my inbox asking things like that. But Merit Beauty specifically, they do reach out to a lot of smaller creators and they say, oh, we're gonna send you these new products, you're gonna do a video and you're gonna have an affiliate link, and so that's the form of payment. But that's not, because an affiliate code or affiliate link is not guaranteed money for all the hard work you spent on creating said content. And they know a lot of smaller creators will say yes to that because it is exciting to be getting PR, especially from a brand that is a Sephora. Trust me, I've been there. I feel like everyone's been there, and you just eventually like learn to know your worth. Question number 6 is, how do you deal with negative comments? I don't get a lot of negative comments, but most of the time I will just delete them. This is my channel. I rule with an iron fist. Period. Like, if I don't want to see it, I will delete it. I will block it, soft block. I know there's that other one where you can just kind of like remove or hide the user from channel so they can see that they're commenting, but like no one else can see it. And it's just so funny because it's like they're screaming literally at a wall. For the most part, they don't really get to me if it has anything to do with my appearance, which I haven't gotten like a lot that are like, oh, you're ugly or this or whatever, and talking about like that stuff. And if someone was to comment on like how my bare skin looks like, oh, you have a lot of pores or whatever, like, I know, like, and like, what's the point of commenting that? Like, I'm aware of what my skin looks like. I've been in it for 30 years, so I know. So just things like that, like, don't bother me. I also think that's something that comes with age. Like, I just stopped caring about what people have to say about me. Now, this has mostly to do with like people on social media. I think it's a little bit different in real life. I think I care a little bit more around like people that I know, that I'm familiar with, that I am acquaintances or I'm friends with, then it would affect me a little bit more. But strangers online, like, I couldn't care less what you think of my face. Other than that, I've gotten comments about, oh, you blink too much, and I'm just like, okay. Or sometimes I get a random influx of people saying I talk really fast, and I know, and that's just how I talk. I do try to slow down sometimes, but the thing is, if I don't speak in my natural cadence, then I will just keep forgetting what I'm trying to say. Like, I very much like kind of like things just flow in my brain and out my mouth like right away, and if I think about it too much, I'm just gonna stumble over my words too much. So it's best if I just speak in my natural cadence. But also, there's people that talk really slow, there's people that talk really fast. I don't feel like I could ever comment on somebody's speech speed, especially on YouTube, because you can slow down and speed up videos, so it really just negates that issue for me. But that's kind of it on the negative comments. Question number 7, what is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to comments? I think definitely, I know a lot of creators mention getting comments about you in third person, so like as if it's not your own comment section. That is definitely weird. And also comments that are disguised as trying to be nice but really being rude, like blah blah blah, but not trying to be rude, but, well, if you weren't trying to be rude, then you wouldn't feel like you need to say that in the first place and then put a but after it. So just saying. On to question number 8. What is your favorite part of being a content creator? Of course, this is everybody's answer, and that is to connect with people, and that is definitely my number one. But I do feel like there's a couple of other like levels to it. Like, it's not just that. I think it's also on a personal level. Like I mentioned earlier, it is my creative outlet, so I really just enjoy it as that, as something that I have a lot of fun doing. So it's something I can have a lot of fun with. I can just play with colors, and it's just something I can do with my hands versus just like moving a mouse around, you know. It's really like that difference. Without drawing on a piece of paper or painting on a canvas, I'm doing that onto my face. There's some really amazing people out there that are super supportive that I would have never met had I not had, you know, Instagram and YouTube, and I'm really thankful for that. And on the other hand of this question is number 9. What is your least favorite part of being a content creator, besides maybe like the editing part or filling out the description part, which I don't really enjoy both of those things. I think it would be the way people tend to misinterpret what you're saying, and maybe sometimes it is just the way you're coming off as, but maybe you don't mean to come off as that way. But also just in general, like, I think it's really easy to misunderstand what people are just typing out into a comment, into caption or whatever, or just when they're speaking. But I do think that sometimes people actually do that on purpose, and they purposely misinterpret what you're saying. Question number 10, which I've already kind of touched on in the previous question: do you edit your own content, and if so, do you enjoy it? I do not enjoy it. I do not like editing. It is much better since the first time when I first started doing videos. I was using a different program. I got this new program, and I am very fast at it, and I've definitely gotten a better handle on it. I don't really do anything fancy, so it's not like it's hard. It's just, it can be a little bit time consuming, and I do get tired of hearing my voice. That is something that has taken forever for me to just get used to the sound of my voice, because it sounds different in your mind than it sounds to other people. Other than that, I do enjoy getting a little bit creative with my reels and making that a little bit different. So I do enjoy like editing that stuff, but not really YouTube stuff. So then question number 11, where do you draw the line in regard to sharing on social media? I keep my life very private. I have shown things here and there, like when I used to commute into the office, I would show like some parts of the commute or something like that. I do share a little bit more personal things on my Instagram stories specifically, but like never on YouTube or anything like that. I just feel like there's a lot of people out there that really want that information to take so that they can dislike you or have a further reason to dislike you, and I don't like the idea of letting people have that option. I just feel like I've seen from way larger creators that share their lives, seeing other people just like assuming things about their life or just completely making up stories, and it's just so scary to me. So I really try to keep my life private, but I do feel like I give just enough where I feel like you know like who I am and like the kind of person I am, without like giving too much where you know like everything. Question number 12 is name one thing you wish you knew when you were starting out. There's way too much. I feel like there's different again like levels to this. So there's like things like you wish you knew like from a more just social standpoint, and then things you wish you knew from a more like editing or creating thumbnails. But I think one of the biggest things that has always stood out for me from just like watching a lot of YouTube is, especially when it comes to like beauty content, like I feel like quality matters a lot. The editing part doesn't matter. Like I think for the most part people don't seem to care, especially when it's like reviews. People just want to see like the product and how it performs, and as long as they can see that, you don't need to do anything super fancy, no special editing, no special intros, etc, etc. Like I really feel like people don't care about that as much as you're led on to think, or you might think. I think what's most important is your personality or the detailed information that you can provide. So question number 13 is there any change you'd like to make to your content in the future? Nothing really huge. I will always do lots of indie content. However, I have been starting to put in a couple of mascara reviews. I want to do more close-up macro applications of foundations on my skin, because I do feel like that is something that could help a lot of people. I just have other interests besides indie makeup. Like I really enjoy like trying out mascaras, trying out foundations. I also really love trying out different false lashes, especially from the drugstore, and brush reviews, and I really just enjoy making those super in depth. I try to look at it from my perspective, and if I was watching a video like for a mascara review, what would I like to see in a mascara review? What would I like to see in a brush review? So that's really what I try to channel into those kinds of videos. Question number 14 is what company collab is your dream? There's so many. Obviously, they're all indie brands. So Cliona, Terra Moons, Davina. I would love to do a bunny themed palette with Menagerie, a Prague themed palette with Nomad Cosmetics, and just really any other like sparkly eyeshadow brand out there whose products I absolutely love. There's really so many. I feel like for each brand, I would have a different idea as well based on the brand's theme, and I just feel like they would be so much fun to do. Question number 15 is what other creator do you admire and want to work with? I would love to do a collab with Steph's Beauty Stash. She is one of the hardest working YouTubers I have ever seen. She posts like 7 videos a week while having a full-time job. I don't know how she does it, but her looks are so inspiring. She does a lot of multiple looks. She does a lot of foundation reviews, and I absolutely love those. They're super thorough. And then I would love to do a multi-chrome collab with none other than Teresa is Dead. I mean, I just think that it would be pretty epic. Question number 16 is what kind of content do you hate? I don't know if I hate any content because I don't watch content that I hate, but there is like content that I don't like love. I don't like when content is really long. Like I'm not somebody who wants to watch 40-minute videos even at 2 times speed. It's just, that's a lot, and I just don't have time for that. I don't really like ASMR either. The only ASMR that I love is bunnies eating like different veggies and different treats and fruits, and I could fall asleep to it. I could listen to it all day. That is the only ASMR that I will tolerate. And the last question is, have you ever had to deal with cancel culture? And if so, how? I haven't had an experience personally. I feel like canceling, similarly to the word influencer, has a certain connotation to it. So I feel like people see it in a like almost like an extreme way, while I think it just should be really about holding people accountable for their actions. And I very much believe in that. However, I do think that it gets out of hand really quickly when it comes to that, where people will be like, well, I'm not going to follow this person who follows that person, and I don't support that person, so I'm not going to support. Like, how far up the chain are you going to go? Because at some point you're just going to have canceled everybody. So I feel like there should be a balance between holding people accountable and just straight up canceling people just to cancel them and expecting everyone to hop on the same train. So those are all the questions. I feel like I talked a lot more than I thought I was going to be, so this video might be a little bit longer than anticipated. They're just such great questions that I think open up a lot of discussion. And so that's everything. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I will love it if you subscribe. There's so much content, lots and lots of makeup content, tutorials, sparkly multi-chrome eyeshadows already on my channel, and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.